Hi and welcome to this video in which I'm going to show you how to what to expect from an IEMT session, which is integral eye movement therapy, which was developed by Andy Austin. And it's a really cool way of working on negative memories, and it seems to somehow neutralize the negative memory. So you can't really change the memory that's happened, and you can probably still remember that the thing has happened, although some of my clients they find it even hard to remember like this embarrassing thing that happened to them or a negative thing. Most of the time though, what tends to happen is that it's like you know it's happened, but it doesn't really bother you in the same way. It's more like, well, yeah, okay, so that this thing happened. Because when a very negative memory happens, when you have a very negative memory, very often you think back on it and physiologically it's like you're back there. So like that thing about you're being embarrassed in front of your school friends, but the teacher embarrasses you. If you think back on it, very often you'll just like go straight back there and you'll have the same like heartbeat and pounding and your sweaty palms. And so this is like a really good way of like sort of interrupting that. And the way it works is because you're moving your eyes as you're thinking about the memory, it seems to scramble the signal, and it's like because you're flipping between one hemisphere to the other, that's how it seems to. And this particular one where tapping works more on the amygdala, Andy Austin believes that this one works more on the hippocampus, which is where the memories are stored. Okay, so I'm just gonna demonstrate what would happen in a typical session. This is obviously not a typical session, this is for demonstration purposes. So Freya is going to think about a particular problem that she has right now. And the good thing about this is you don't have to share any details of the memory, which is really good for everybody concerned, really. So you got a particular problem in mind, and it's we had a little chat beforehand, so it's a future scenario of a conversation that you've been putting off. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay,
right.
great.
Yeah.
So, and as you're thinking about that conversation you're going to have, if it's easier, you can close your eyes and just really tune into that feeling right now. You're thinking about having to have this conversation, and how strong is the emotion right now as you're thinking about it? If 0 is like nothing and 10 is like the worst it could be.
Probably is around 7.
It's a 7, okay. And this particular feeling, how familiar is this feeling?
It's familiar.
Yeah, okay. And now we're going to do what's called the transderivational search. So we're going to find another memory, a memory that's related to this. So I want you to just keep hold of that feeling of the 7 and think, when is the first time you can remember feeling this particular feeling? It might not be the actual first time it happened, but the first time you can remember now.
It's quite strange, but something just popped into my head.
Okay, great. So don't give me any details,
Okay,
remember,
okay.
but you got something, this is exactly what happens. Something just pops into your head.
Yeah.
And you don't know where it came from, but that's just how it works. Okay, so you got a specific memory. Okay, and how old were you roughly around this time?
About 7 or 8.
Okay, great, perfect. And so this memory, if you're going into it, is it more like it's from your point of view? Or is it more like you're looking from above, like you can see yourself in it? Or is it more from your eyes?
Good question. I'm probably a third person looking at the scene.
Okay, great. And is it more like a movie or is it more like a photograph?
I think like a movie.
Okay, it's like a little movie. Okay, great. And how vivid is this movie in it right now as you're remembering it?
It's vivid in the sense that the feeling's vivid, but the details are a bit blurry.
Okay, great. All right, so now what I want you to do is open your eyes and you're going to look at my fingers. How's this for distance? Is that okay? So now I want you to keep hold of that memory and follow my fingers. Okay, with your eyes. Here we go. And keep your head completely still. Okay. And keep hold of that memory. Keep hold of that memory as long as you can. Keep hold of that memory and follow my fingers. You're doing really well. Keep hold of that memory. If it fades, just bring it right back. Keep hold of that memory. Keep hold of it. Keep hold of it. You're doing really well. Keep hold of that memory as long as you can. Okay, great. Take a little breath. Okay. So, as you're thinking about that memory right now, what happens when you try and access that memory now? What's it like?
I can't actually see it now.
Right. Okay. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is the kind of thing that very often happens. It doesn't always happen like this in a session, but very often it's like weird. Like you think, anyway. So that's like this particular memory, right? So now let's just go back to that future event. And then, so now thinking about that future event now. So your emotion, the feeling, thinking about the future event was about 7. So what is it now?
Probably around 4.
Okay, great. So let's just do one more round on this particular one, okay? So this feeling of 4, how familiar is that feeling?
Yeah, I guess it's familiar feeling.
Okay, great. So close your eyes if it's comfortable. And now this particular feeling of this that you've got now, when's the first time you can remember this particular feeling? Take as long as you need.
Yeah, I think again something completely random and unrelated.
This is what often happens. It's very random. So you got a specific memory, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And how old were you in this memory? Roughly.
Maybe 11-ish.
Okay, great. So this particular memory, how vivid is this memory as you're thinking about it now?
It's not that vivid. I think it's an amalgamation of a few similar events.
Okay, great. So try and really pick one specific one if you can, like the one that stands out most for you right now. Yeah, you got one?
Yeah.
Okay. This particular memory, how is it like the first one? Is it from your eyes, or can you see yourself in it?
I think it's from my eyes.
Okay. And is it more like a photo, or is it more like a little movie?
Again, like a movie.
Okay, great. So open your eyes and keep hold of that memory. Okay, and follow my fingers. Keep your head completely still. Great. Keep hold of that memory. Keep hold of it as long as you can. Keep hold of that memory. Keep hold of that memory. Great. Keep hold of that memory as long as you can. If it fades, just bring it back. Keep hold of that memory. 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 Okay, and close your eyes a minute. So what happens now when you try and access that memory?
Yeah, it doesn't come back as vividly.
Okay, so this is once again, this very often happens in sessions, that the person can't quite access it in the same way. Okay, so now finally what we're going to do, just for the demonstration of this video, we're going to go back to this future event and see what happens now when you think about this future conversation you're thinking about having. Okay, all right. So what happens now?
I have like a sensation that it would be quite a quick conversation that wouldn't be that dramatic.
Okay.
So whereas before there was a lot of anticipation associated, this time it feels like it would just be a sort of quick conversation.
Okay. Great. Thank you. So this is the kind of thing that very often happens, that just by neutralizing a couple of memories, something that seemed like a really big, unmanageable thing, it seems to be more like in perspective. Is that how would kind of describe
that's how I describe it, yeah.
Okay, great. So, well, thank you so much for watching this brief demo. I promise you that we haven't rehearsed this, and this is exactly as it happened. So if you'd like to find out more about IEMT, you can watch some of my other videos. And if you're thinking about having a session, there's some more information on my website. And please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much. Bye.